With the internet advancing at a rate as fast as it is impossible to say that one has never had an encounter with it. Now, although most encounters can be beneficial and help us foster learning, some encounters are not so positive.
During our research, we came across a few websites that were opinion-based and were making some very strong accusations about the harms and disadvantages of immigration. You can only imagine the discomfort and disappointment that we felt coming from a long line of immigrants.
Some of these opinions include, according to Nancy L. Bauman, because our USA natural-born citizens, immigration laws are not enforced. Illegal immigrants are allowed to steal the American dream without paying their dues, paying their taxes, or paying respect to those of us who have worked hard to make this country what it is. She also states that they, the illegal aliens, are not deported back to their own country. Rather, they are offered driver's license, identification cards, and the hope of amnesty that is currently being considered by the U.S. Congress, and many more.
My partner and I have grouped these opinions into common myths such as undocumented immigrant workers take jobs away from native workers, immigrants come here to take welfare, immigrants don't pay taxes, immigrants are a drain on the U.S. economy, and immigrants don't want to learn English or become American.
Now, while Carmen and I know that these are just myths, it is clear that some people do not realize that. The most upsetting part was realizing that once something is on the internet, it's there forever, and we can't take back what we said, nor can we change who we have affected. Once someone reads something, we start to formulate opinions about that topic, furthering the myths and the lies.
Not everyone is as willing or passionate as we are to actually look up facts and statistics. Not what we found turned out to be really interesting.
For example, immigrants pay taxes in the form of income, property sales, and taxes at the federal and state level. As far as income taxes payments go, sources vary in their accounts, but a range of studies find that immigrants pay between 90 and 140 billion a year in federal, state, and local taxes. Undocumented immigrants pay income taxes as well, as evidenced by the Social Security Administration's suspense file, taxes that cannot be matched to workers' names and Social Security numbers, which grew by 20 billion between 1990 and 1998. During the 1990s, half of all new workers were foreign-born, filling gaps by native-born workers in both the high and low-skill ends of the spectrum. Immigrants fill jobs at key sectors, start their own businesses, and contribute to a thriving economy. The net benefit of immigration to the U.S. is nearly $10 billion annually. As Alan Greenspan points out, 70% of immigrants arrive in prime working age. That means we haven't spent a penny on their education, yet they are transplanted into our workforce and will contribute $500 billion toward our Social Security system over the next 20 years. Lastly, you'll often hear people complaining about immigrants not speaking the native language, but the U.S. Census Bureau says another story. Over 75% of immigrants speak English well within their first 10 years of arrival.
What we wanted to accomplish was to validate and correct the common misconceptions of immigration, using statistics and other forms of media. There is no positive way for us to change everyone's mind about immigration. However, what we can do is point out the facts. Through extensive research, we are able to look at a website or a post and prove it wrong. Ultimately, the solution is to educate the future generations about the realities and common misconceptions about immigration. By creating websites and speaking openly about the misconceptions on social media, we can better advocate and educate the public about real statistics. We are only interested in seeking the truth.
So how can we, as busy college-bound students, take on the challenge of educating the world?
I proposed using social media, and since we decided to educate future generations so that things like this won't happen, I thought Facebook was a great place to start. I have been in charge of this Facebook page entitled Our Immigrants, where I post pictures and more validated information about immigration in general.
So far, it has been doing great, and we encourage people to follow it whenever we can, and we hope that it has shed a more positive outlook on immigrants. But it is not enough. I mean, to be honest, Facebook has been dying and used more by adults. Now, teenagers are using Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram more often. But I am not active on any of those sites, so I chose to make a new website entirely. Much like the Facebook page, I plan on uploading insightful and true facts about immigration. I plan on furthering my research because although the semester is coming to an end, my work is far from over. So far, I have 2 entries answering 5 simple questions about personal experiences with immigration.
Thank you for listening.